when the agreement was entered into,
Yes.
initially the credit limit that was provided was 3 million. But in November 2021, they requested for an increase in the credit limit, which was then adjusted to 10 million, following which they provided 2 credit guarantees, one for 6 million and one for 4 million. And subsequently, the one for 4 million was cancelled. But the limit stayed at 10 million.
Okay, let's engage with just the limit now. The other things we can discuss when they become relevant. Why do you say that the initial credit limit for Erongo Petroleum was 3 million?
That is in terms of the evidence and as well as, I believe, the agreement.
Okay. Are you perhaps referring to clause number 6 in that agreement? Clause number 6 of the agreement that I referred you to now, LSN 8?
Which page of the agreement is it?
That would be page number 6 of the agreement, clause 6 as well. We are now just dealing with the initial credit limit that you are speaking about.
That's correct, but there was also terms and is it credit terms?
Are you referring to the guarantee?
No.
Okay.
There was also a credit term, and I'm just quickly looking through this document to see if I'll find the credit terms. Yes, the credit term is also there. I believe once you page through the agreement, the agreement goes until page 32.
Yes, sir.
So immediately after page 32, you will find the terms and conditions, and that is where the credit is. So it was both in the contract and in the terms, in the credit terms.
Okay.
So if you go to that document, the second page immediately thereafter, you would see it where it's written in pen or with a pen.
Okay, let's take the first document, sir, and I will take you to the one you just referred us to. But for now, let's look at the fuel purchase agreement between Erongo Petroleum CC and Namcor Petroleum Trading and Distribution, particularly at clause 6 of that agreement, which deals with the quantity. Are you there, sir?
No, I'm there.
Thank you. Mr. Inambao, that document at 6.1 reads as follows. The quantity of the products purchased by the buyer and supplier by the seller under this agreement shall be 400,000 liters per month, the equivalent of 3 million. Do you agree that the parties agreed to sell each other products of 400 liters per month, equivalent of 3 million?
That's right.
Okay. So when you say the initial credit limit is 3 million, you are referring to 3 million per month, sir? Or overall?
In terms of how much Erongo Petroleum could receive without making a payment, it meant they could take product until 3 million.
Yes, per month, sir. Because 3 million per month and 3 million overall are two different things. So I just want clarity from you.
Yes.
Are you referring, sorry, let me just rephrase the question for you. Are you referring to 3 million per month or 3 million overall?
Well, as far as the investigations and the evidence we obtained suggest that they could as well take any amount.
Okay.
But in terms of the credit that was provided was 3 million. Suppose they wanted more fuel, they would pay the difference and still get more fuel, depending on how they would supply it to their own customers.
Okay.
But as far as the credit was concerned, this was the agreement.
All right. I still don't have an answer. Do you mean per month or overall when you give that amount, whichever
Overall.
amount?
Overall.
Okay. But you agree with me that 6.1 says per month?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Okay. Mr. Inambao, can we please have regard to the credit policy? I believe it's in Exhibit E2. That would be Your Worship, I'm told it's at 300.
I don't
Do
have.
you have one? Okay, I'll share one now. It should be on your table. Okay, I'll give you this one instead. Yeah, open that one. This one is highlighted. Thank you, sir. Okay. Your Worship, I invite you to please have regard to Exhibit E2 at page 300 thereof.
Are you there?
I'm there, Your Worship.
You can proceed.
Okay, Mr. Inambao, are you familiar with the document in front of you?
The credit policy, I am familiar with it.
Was it one of the documents you had regard to during your investigations in this matter?
That's correct.
Okay. Were you able to determine whether that was the policy that was in place during the time or the material time or all material times of this investigation?
That's correct.
There were no subsequent or amendments during that time?
And this, as far as our investigations determined, this is the copy of the policy that was applicable at the time, and this is the copy that we were given.
Okay. If you have regard to page 300, the board chairperson who signed the policy's name is also indicated there as Mr. Engelhard Kongoro. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is that the same gentleman you referred to who approached your officers to investigate this matter?
Is the gentleman that reported the case with Namibian police.
With Namcor,
That's correct.
who subsequently handed the docket to you?
That's right.
Okay. All right. Mr. Inambao, I understood your testimony around the committee to be as follows: that the committee comprises of a number of people. Of those people, some only have powers to recommend, others have powers to approve. Did I understand you correctly?
That's correct.
Mr. Inambao, may you please go to page 306, Your Worship, 306 of the bundle, where you will find the roles and responsibilities of the different people. Okay, are you there, sir?
I'm there. 306.
Okay. And then after the roles and responsibilities, you will also find the composition of the committee.
That's right.
Okay. If you need time to go through it, I would understand, but I need to make a proposition to you, which I believe is a fair one.
You can proceed.
Okay. Mr. Inambao, the composition of the committee is set out there. All the members are ordinary members except the chairperson, who is an ordinary member and a chairperson. It's at clause or section 6. Is that correct?
Repeat that, Mission.
The composition of the credit committee is set out in clause 6 of that policy on page 306. Is that correct?
That's
sir?
correct.
Okay. Those members, the only distinction between the members is that one of them is supposed to be a chairperson in addition to be just a member of the credit committee.
Yes, but you need to read it together with 5.9.
Okay.
Because in terms of the responsibilities, that is where now the variation comes in as far as the responsibility of the members within the credit committee.
Okay. First, we are just looking at what their roles are. Do you agree that that's the distinction that is drawn by this policy at clause 6?
Yeah.
Okay. In addition to that, sir, even if I look, and I might have overlooked it, I do not find, and I could not find a clause that says these 3 must recommend and these 4 must approve. I could not find it. Did you perhaps find it in another document which is not before us?
5.9 reads as follows.
Okay.
The Namcor Executive Finance, Executive Downstream Supply and Logistic, and the Managing Director will take all credit decisions relating to customers, including credit limit determination and allocation of the allocation of the individual operating units as recommended by the credit committee.
Okay. So now let's unpack that one, because that's perhaps where the difference in understanding is. When you say as recommended by the credit committee, who is the credit committee, sir?
So if you look at the composition of the credit
Yes.
committee, it lists 5.9 lists executive finance, who's the chairperson, and then from there it lists the executive downstream supply and logistics, which is the second item there. And then from there, in addition to those 2, is the managing director, who's not part of the credit committee. So meaning the top 2 would make credit decisions.
Yes. On recommendation of the credit committee.
That's correct.
Okay. So the people that you said only make recommendations excluded the finance administration executive as well as the executive downstream supply and logistics. Did I misunderstand your testimony earlier?
Can you repeat what you are saying?
Okay. Your earlier testimony was that here is the committee. It comprises of executive finance and administration, as well as the executive downstream supply and logistics, plus those other 3. However, the powers of the other 3 were simply to recommend to the other 2. That's how I understood your testimony. So I just want us to clarify that because it's important.
Yes.
Okay.
So as far as the evidence we obtained is concerned, was when a credit decision, suppose a customer has reached their credit limit and that customer wants to be supplied, that request was supposed to come through to the credit committee, which comprises the 2 roles that you have individualized. And then, of course, the 2 roles, the executive finance and the logistics, and they are part of the committee. So meaning, whether it's on a round robin, whether it's via email, whether it's a face-to-face meeting, they're supposed to sit and then from there make recommendations. But the only people who could take the decisions were those ones. So that the ones who would make the decision based on the recommendation.
Okay, so let's start over so that we are on the same page. The committee comprises of the people in the positions stated in clause 6.
That's correct.
Okay. And then, in addition to that, you pointed us to 5.9, that when it comes to decisions pertaining to credit decisions of customers, of those specific operating units, I think. Can I understand what is your point in 5.9? Are you saying the committee sits and then it recommends to Mr. Mulunga? Because your testimony earlier was that here's the committee, but the other people only recommend. That's why they are not in the doc. They didn't make those decisions. Can you please clarify that for me? Because now it's sounding different.
I did not say they recommend to Mr. Mulunga. Mr. Mulunga, by virtue of this policy, he could approve. So I think 5.9, it's just indicating as to who has the powers to make or to decide on the limits, to decide to make credit decisions. And it tells you it's the executive finance, executive downstream supply and logistics, and the managing director.
Okay.
In as far as the evidence is concerned, in fact, from what we obtained from the ground, the managing director can approve even without the credit committee. But as far as the other two are concerned, they needed to be informed, meaning this issue needed to be brought to the credit committee. Of course, the credit committee would be looking at, the behavior of the customer. They would look at the risks of exposure and so forth and so on, upon which their decision then will be, they will make an informed decision and make necessary recommendations.
Okay, so I must have misheard you then when you said the executive corporate governance, Ms. Moruko, the finance manager downstream, the financial accountant, they only had recommendation powers in the committee. I must have not heard you properly.
You might be right.
Okay, so they are part of the committee.
Yes,
they are full members of the committee.
Yes, they are full members of the committee.
Okay, good. Okay. You also testified that up to a certain point, Erongo Petroleum was a good paying client. And then at some point it stopped. Can you just clarify to us in good standing up to which period, according to your investigation, sir?
In terms of the evidence, and I remember I testified in the examination in chief that, look, Erongo entered into a fuel supply agreement with Namcor. I believe that was on the 10th of September 2020. If you look at the track record, there were no issues from September 2020 until sometimes in May 2022. That's when you see now the payments now started happening to staff members. But as far as their debt is concerned, or as far as, what was authorized above the credit limit, those transactions only came to take effect from December 2022 through to May 2023. And this in the views of one of the advocates here, they said evidence needs to be objective. And this is part of the evidence that we got that, no, look, Rongo was a good customer. Its problems only started from here.
Okay, that's now the time you must give me, sir. Which time?
I did.
It wasn't clear to me. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Until when was Erongo a good customer, sir?
I said as far as the debt is concerned, that debt arose because of between December and May 2023. December 2022 and May 2023.
Okay.
Those are the invoices that we collected and reconciled.
Okay. That means you are saying up to November 2022, Erongo was a good customer servicing its debt.
As far as the debt is concerned, yes.
Okay. And then from December 2022 until May 2023, that's where you saw that they are no longer servicing their debt.
Yes.
Okay.
But I also indicated that we have seen payments going from staff members, to staff members of Namcor Trading, channeled via Erongo from May 2022. So, but in terms of the dates, it's from December.
Yeah, I'm just at this point interested in the dates, sir.
Of
if
course.
you will indulge me. Okay. So when you say they were in good standing, they were paying, was it within the credit limit or outside the credit limit of Erongo? When you remember in your investigation?
It was established during the investigation, even if they had exceeded the limit at that point in time, they would always make dues to pay what was due.
Okay, so it's outside the credit limit, but they were paying.
Yes.
That's how I understand your answer. Okay. Are you able to, because you didn't do it, I want to give you an opportunity. Are you able to provide this court with what Erongo Petroleum's balance, outstanding balance was at end of November 2022?
I'm sure we obtained account statements, but as far as what was reported to us was the period December 2022 to May 2023. In order for us to quantify those and determine how the approvals were done, we requested the invoices, the purchase orders within that period in order to quantify and understand as to whether there were indeed issues as it was alleged.
Okay. So I still don't have an answer. Are you able to give us the outstanding balance for Erongo Petroleum as at 30 November 2022? Are you able to?
I'm sure we can still request Namcor to give that account balance.
Okay, but today you are not able to
No.
do it. And you also didn't do it in your examination in chief. That's correct, ne?
Yes.
Okay. Furthermore, there was evidence laid here that, and that is, I understand, that's why we have a credit limit, that payment terms were not immediately, like you take today and you must pay. There was a payment period of at least 30 days for different clients. Was that also what you found in your investigation?
Yes, we did find out that customers could take product and pay at the end of the month. So 30 days.
Okay. When you say end of the month, you mean at
30
days?
30 days.
Okay.
Let's take 30 days.
So you will agree with me that it's important for this court to know when does one 30-day period start and when does the other one start, for it to determine whether there is an outstanding amount for a certain period, isn't it?
Of course.
Okay. You will also agree with me that it's important for this court to know when fuel was supplied and when it was due for payment and when in fact the customer defaulted. You'll agree with me that it's important for the court to know that in light of the allegation?
Well, you know, if we were doing the debt collection, it would be important for the court to know. But now, since we are talking about the abuse of office and position, which culminated into the authorization of this, yes, the court can know. And of course, this would be evidenced by the records of invoices, the delivery notes, and as well as the purchase orders that were collected. So, which indicates the date, for example, when the purchase order was initiated by Erongo, when it was received by Namcor, and subsequent to that, when the product was supplied and so forth and so on. So those details will be available.
But they were not produced in these proceedings. You agree with me, these bail proceedings?
Because it's bail proceedings, and I believe it's not everything that was presented as far as the evidence is concerned.
Yes, I'm not asking why they were not produced. I'm asking you to agree that the delivery notes, the invoices in respect of Erongo, the payments for that period were not produced in this proceedings, sir.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. All right. There's another thing that we also need to assist the court, because we keep saying evidence, evidence, evidence. In this proceedings, sir, there were bank statements produced of different corporate entities and individuals. Do you agree with me?
I can agree to the ones which were presented to me, so I can't confirm on anything else. All the others that you have shown me, yes, they were presented.
Okay. And in addition to, if you go into those bank statements, there are debits and credits that were pointed out and are linked to the different charges. You also did a bit of that for us when you came in examination in chief. Do you recall, sir?
That's correct.
Okay. And then you also made linkages that this amount comes from this amount and this amount and this amount was eventually paid. Do you recall that evidence, sir?
That's correct.
Okay. So apart from the bank statements, the amounts, as well as your testimony, what evidence of conspiracy, sir, did you produce in this bail proceedings? Can I first give you an opportunity?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm talking about, did you produce an email where people are conspiring, a meeting, a recording? And I'm not saying that's the only way to prove a conspiracy. Apart from the bank statements and your testimony and those individual payments and how you as ACC have interpreted them, did you produce any evidence of conspiracy in these proceedings?
We have obtained detailed statements. We have obtained approvals by the people who approved the authorization for fuel.
Okay.
We have obtained statements through interviews with witnesses. And all these are pieces of evidence which I believe it was not at the prerogative of the state to disclose it to you at this point in time because of the stage of the investigations. But that evidence is there.
Okay.
And it's that evidence that guided us in coming to the conclusion where we are.
Okay. So the evidence is there of a conspiracy. You have it, but you have not produced it in this court.
I've indicated in the examination in chief, when we are going back to conspiracy, I indicated it started somewhere in 2021. In fact, I was very specific, 26 October 2021, when Mr. Mukwaya got an access to the account of Namcor. As far as the unrecorded, and we know in order for documents to be signed or accounts to be opened, logically, it means there were engagements, either meetings or phone calls or whatever. So, and hence, so I believe through through the timeline in terms of the events, the sequence of the events that had happened, I believe we were able to demonstrate that there was indeed conspiracy, starting as far as the records are concerned, starting from 26 October until the time when the agreements were entered into and so forth and so on.
Sir, I have to put it to you because I will make that argument when you are not present, that you allege conspiracy, you make certain inferences, and you deduce that from certain facts, but in these proceedings, on the charges pertaining to conspiracy, you have not demonstrated that the state has a strong case. We are just talking about conspiracies, which you know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find out. Is this relating to Mr. Nandaho or somebody else?
Is that your answer?
No, I'm trying to find out because I'm still not getting the vibe as to where this is going.
Is that your answer, sir?
No, I've answered already when I
Okay.
indicated conspiracy. We have demonstrated conspiracy already, all the way.
Okay, I'm going to proceed because that is your answer on that issue. There's also a statement you made, and I want you to give you the opportunity if you want to correct it in respect of my client. You kept saying the accused persons or the applicant, that's how I heard you, I could have misheard you, that they did not know they were going to be arrested. They all thought this was a commercial transaction. Are you including my client in that statement?
Well, I don't think he knew he would be arrested. I cannot say that he thought it was a commercial offer.
Okay.
Because the asset purchase agreement
Yes.
does not relate to him.
Thank you. Okay. So now that you have made that distinction, we are left with the one statement where you say, my client did not know he was going to be arrested. Okay. Who told you that my client did not know he was going to be arrested when ACC called him? We want to understand so that we are on the same page.
We surely did not call him and tell him we are looking for you to arrest you.
Okay. What did you tell him if it was you who told him?
We would have obviously told him we want to speak to him in connection of an ongoing investigations.
Okay. So, when you say my client did not know he was going to be arrested, it's on the basis that ACC did not inform him that he was going to be arrested. Is that correct?
Of course, otherwise he will run away.
No, sir. Please do not do that, sir.
We have a scenario
Okay.
where a person became aware that we are looking for that individual and the person fled. So that fear existed in any of the accused persons.
Sir, did Mr. Nandaho attempt to run away when he was arrested in the north and transported all the way to Mep, Otavi, Oshivarongo, Ventuk, including Okahanja and Osona? Did it attempt to run away, sir?
As I indicated, he only became aware that he was being arrested at the point when he met with our officers and they explained to him and informed him that he was being arrested. So as to whether he attempted to escape, I mean, he was kept in the vehicle, he was being guarded all the way until he got to Windhoek, and then from there he was taken to the cells.
You are saying he was kept in the vehicle, he was being guarded, very useful information. Did he attempt to run away when he was being transported from the north to Ventuk?
No, he was arrested, he was secured, he was brought to Windhoek.
Okay. Furthermore, in your evidence in chief, you made a statement that Mr. Nandaho was in contact with one of the suspects that you are looking for in this matter, but that it was before his arrest. Did I understand that you were correct?
That's right.
Okay. So you already said he did not know he was going to be arrested, so he was free to speak to anyone, isn't it?
Of course.
Okay.
Councillor, just pause. The court will take a lunch break. We meet at 14:20.
As it pleases the court.
Thank you, Osha.
Yes.